Dear Lions, it's a pleasure to meet you all. Today is a very, very special day for me. I get to meet two of the children that I love a lot. Vimukta is here with a big smile, very big smile. I'm very, very happy to see her. And same with Arnav Chaudhary. Both are very good kids. I'm very happy to see them. And last year at this time, I remember similar time, I think, them going through all the processes in VAT Bhopal. And here they are back with a smile to help guide the juniors into their placement journey. Welcome, Vimukta and Arnav.
Thank you
Vimukta and
so much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for this opportunity.
Yes, sir. It wasn't possible without your and VIT Bhopal's placement cells guidance.
Right. Let's start with the kids now. So, the reason why we are having this webinar is, of course, to guide all the students in terms of the placement journey. Every student of VAT Bhopal, we have second years joining, we have third years joining, and we have the final years joining. To guide them about the placement journey and give them a sense of what placement looks like. So I leave the floor to you, Vimukta. You can start with the process about the ZS, what all rounds were there, and so on. Arnab, you can add. Then we'll take you through some questions that the students pose. Vimukta, over to you.
Sure, sir. So, like ZS for our batch came around October. So, the first round was the online assessment round, which included the aptitude round as the first round. It has everything, including aptitude, critical reasoning based questions, some questions related to your verbal ability. So, this was the first round. Moving further, then a shortlisting list comes. In that, they shortlist people for the next round, which is the communication round. So the communication round includes the verbal questions, the questions where you have to record audio listening to some audios, and so on. Then the third round is depending on the role which you select. So for us there were two roles. First was decision analytics associate, and the second one was business technology solution associate. For the DAA role, it was a case study round as the third round, which included questions related to the business rules. Like they would provide you with case studies and some questions to calculate the demand or the profit which a company would make through it. So, this was the basic structure of a case study round. And once you go through the case study round, then we go for like the interview rounds. But before that, I would like Arnab to tell about the business technology associate roles round.
Okay. Thank you, Vimukta, for speaking about the interview process. So the initial part of the interview is mostly same for the two roles. Like we go through the same interview process of shortlisting, then the aptitude, and then the communication round. Followed by then there is one additional round for the BTSA folks. We have something called as SQL programming, along with a little bit of coding is involved into it. So ZS for BTSA roles very specific to BTSA candidates. They focus on SQL programming a lot. So this role like involves also this type of analytical skills. That's why the third round includes a SQL programming. Along with that, there will be also a coding round, most involving Python programmings. And apart from that, then there is an interview round, which is like we get to meet with first, there will be two rounds of interview. So if you get to clear one of the rounds, then only you can proceed to the next round. So the first round mostly involves like your analytical skills on the tech stack, what you have done so far, and then they are going to give you questions based on SQL and a simple level of programming as well on Python. Apart from that, there will be like if you get to clear this, there will be guess estimates rounds and all. So I would assume Vimukta is going to say about her next rounds. Then we can start.
Sure enough. So for the DAA track as well, there were two interview rounds. In the first interview rounds, they would again ask you some case study based questions. So firstly, they'll mainly focus on your resume, like how your resume is. Based on that, they will take the track of the interview, how you introduce yourself, and what are your tech stack. So if there is something mentioned related to machine learning in your resume, so the interview track might go towards like machine learning questions more. But if it is related to deep data web development and also the interview might take that way as well. But the major idea behind that is you should be very thorough with your resume. They'll ask questions based on your projects, what projects you did, then if you have participated in any of the competitions, they will ask in detail about those competitions, hackathons and all, just to get gist of what your personality reflects on that. Apart from that, they ask guesstimates questions as well in the first round, but they are not in very in-depth questions. And they might ask SQL queries. It completely depends on the resume which you have. And for me, basically there were three case study questions asked in my interview round, but these questions were also based on the online assessment case study round. So while solving online assessment case study round, you should at least keep some notes of whatever solutions you have done during that time, so that would really help you during the interview process as well. And after this was the second round, which included a very in-depth business check sort of a thing, where they would ask, like, from your resume only, they'll prepare a case study for you, and they'll ask questions, how would you be providing a solution to that particular problem. That was one thing. Then there were again 3 to 4 guesstimates questions. Then there were some puzzles asked. And then again, like, second round as well includes some questions from your resume and from your tech stack which you have portrayed in your resume. So this was the major zest of the interview process which happened.
Okay, so I would like to add, like for BT folks, the interview was a slightly bit different from the DA ones. So we initially, our interview started with, like, the first day interview will be normally saying you introduce yourself, speak about you, the stuffs you have done in college, and the processes, the studies you have completed in college. They might even ask you questions from CS fundamentals and topics which majorly cover like your knowledge on strong OOPS concepts, and the way they actually in the job also we do stuffs which involve all the CS fundamentals. So they want to have a quick check. Your first check would be like to have very strong hold on the CS fundamentals. Along with that, you should focus on SQL programming. So like in SQL, you should be focusing on the different type of joins, the different type of keys, the nested queries, the subqueries, if possible, even the window functions as well. So that like the interviewer will be very impressed with you guys, that okay, you have a strong gist of SQL along with functional programming. Apart from that, you should be able to have good concept in whatever things you have mentioned in your resume. It shouldn't be something which you haven't done. It shouldn't be something which is made by someone else, because in today's generation, the companies over here also, they are hiring folks. We have AI, pretty much everything is there in the market. Now they are looking for candidates which are possessing skill set on AI. So it's like you should have, like, whatever you have written in the resume, you should be able to express them, whatever you have done. It's not something that very difficult to say, but you can be very familiar with the topics you have prepared and also able to say what implications they have around you. So apart from that, there was guess estimate round as well. In the I for me it was like 2 rounds of interview, and both the interviewers, even the behavioral interviewer, also asked me questions on SQL as well. So the first interview went with the guess estimates rounds, where they typically focus on real world scenarios. Like they will be saying number of planes flying in India at one given point of time, number of restaurants of a particular restaurant chain at one particular time. Then they might even give you some logical puzzle problems, like you will be having two bottles of water with 9 liter and 4 liter, and how you're going to make 6 liters of water out of it. So these are like kind of guess estimates questions, which they basically test the people who are giving the interviews to check their analytical skills. As the role mostly involves a lot of client facing and a lot of tech also for the BT folks. So they usually check this above items which I told as a part of their interview process. So apart from that, they will be asking you questions. The behavioral round went pretty smooth because they asked me questions regarding why you want to be in ZS, what is your technical ambition, and all those stuffs which if you are good at and if you want to be good, like then you have to speak about the stuffs which you have previously done and why do you think you fit in ZS. So it's like majorly pharma tech consulting. So you should be having some valid points that why you, why you think you want to join the company. These are some certain questions which they usually ask. So yeah, I think this pretty much sums up our interview experience.
Okay. Uh, Great. Thanks for this. And basically, dear students, this is we do this every year, and very happy that ZS is coming slightly early. Okay. We have Saloni Charosia who's asking a question. Didi, from where to prepare for case study round questions?
Sure. So for case study rounds, if you would search on like YouTube as well, like ZS Associates case study round questions, you will get certain videos. So they have complete idea, and even I also have one or two case studies which I can share with sir. So that would be helpful for everybody over here. But on YouTube, like I
Um,
also prepared from YouTube itself.
Ethically, I cannot take content from you because you are an employee. So I'm sorry, I cannot
Sure,
take
sir.
that and encourage. Even this is just an interview experience. So
Uh,
I think the
Sir,
students can
I
go
can
through the
share the
content on
YouTube
YouTube.
links which would help them.
They can Google
Yeah,
themselves.
sure, sir.
So now I'll just add ask you one. So YouTube links, everybody will prepare. How do you stand out? Is there how do you really improvise on a answer that somebody has given? How do you prepare individually?
Sir, it is more related to.
Yes, Vimukta.
Yeah. It is more related to like the business context. You have to adding your own brain into it. Like how would you be in that situation and would have solved? Like ZS majorly focuses on what your personal experience has an impact on the solution to them. So I would say how be raw on what your ideas actually are and portray it in a way that would help to solve a problem in real world. So that is something I would say would help them.
Uh, I'll come to you, Arnab, on this. Did the star or car methodology or all the terminologies were they useful for you in the case study rounds? Vimukta, did you use the star methodology or all the case study methodologies for this?
Uh, yes, sir. Like for some of them, using a proper framework to give a solution, like defining the problem. During the interview, it helped me a lot to firstly explain what exactly the problem is, then moving towards the solution step by step, and what is the approach you use to move to that solution. So everybody has a different approach to solve that problem, and providing that specific and portraying it in a proper way would help that help interviewer as well to get an idea that you are clear with your thoughts. So yes, following a proper approach was really helpful during the interview process, I would say.
Okay. Arnab, your take on this?
So, if in my experience, whenever the interviewer was giving me a guess estimate problem, previously, I when I interviewed for also ZS, I didn't even prepare a lot for the guess estimates part. My major focus was on CS fundamentals and programming and SQL. But when I that night before I got my confirmation, I have to give this interview. Then I thought there is something. Then I got to know that there is something known as guess estimates. So it's not very difficult to follow what guess estimates is if we just go through Geek for Geeks. They have and also there is one separate channel, separate website which they give a lot of questions regarding ZS, how ZS is taking the interviews across multiple colleges. So if you go through 4 to 5 questions, then you get an idea of how the guess estimates work. Then during in the interview also you ask the interviewer that whether he or she wants to allow you to write the notes which the person is saying or the thoughts which you are. So they will always be looking at you, how you are portraying yourself, how you are putting the thoughts into pen, and then you are expressing them like, this is the idea, I think this is the way, you have to come from the source to the destination in a particular way. So that the interviewer gets to see gets to see the directions in which you are thinking. It should not be like you have practiced some question and you are going to answer in that manner, because you don't know what is going to come as a guess estimate problem, or a problem which will make you confused or something like that. So in order to win at such situations, you need to be very careful with what the idea you are bringing to them, and it should be also something which they want to hear, not what like you are thinking will work. So in order to do that, you should be I think watching some videos on how these puzzles are solved and real world software development life cycles. Like, these are like some topics which will like make you stand out from the others, because when you are planning for like how you like software designing and all those things, then you get to know how you achieve a business problem, like how you make a like real world problem into a solution. So yeah, that was my take onto it.
Okay. Uh, we'll come to a second year student, Disha Jalan. She's asking question. Aldram, I'm going to go deep with you on this. Everybody is doing the same things: DSA in C++, Java, Web Dev,
Yeah,
AML. How
yeah.
do you stand out in this?
So basically it's like everybody will be doing the same thing, I know, but like it's good to not put, this is something which I learned from Sriram sir himself, not to put so many skills on your resume so that the interviewer thinks that you are like master of everything, but jack of all trades, master of none. So you should be basically focusing on something which you are really good at, something you're doing since the 4 years, you are confident about. And if you manage to even crack the interview, and then you are like, if you manage to even crack the OA rounds or the initial rounds, and then you get to the interview, then you will be able to stand out just by saying that this is what I have done, this is something which I have having strong expertise in. So you have to basically sell the thing which you have learned over a long time. It's not something which you have learned since last 6 months, and then you're going to say them that this is what I have done. It should be always something which you are good at, and that is something which will make you stand out from the rest of the crowd.
So what you're saying is, instead of having three different domains,
Yeah. Yes.
everybody focuses on one domain: project one, project two, project three.
Yes. Correct.
That okay. Now, what kind of projects should they make on that? The other question I like to this is, Arnab,
Mhm.
a lot of students, especially in the first year, this comes from a 24 batch student. Very
Okay.
happy, Disha. Please keep rocking. She's asking this question in her mind, or with the minds of the students. We'll have students thinking, is front end really worth it? Android really worth it? AML really worth it? And I'm sure you also had these thoughts in your mind when you were
Yes.
doing in second year and all.
Okay.
So how do they pick a domain, and what do they do in that domain? What kind of project should they focus on in that domain?
Okay. So, so basically, I would like to say, address this question in this manner, that even when I was also in their state, when I was like 3 to 4 years back, there was a revolution of people doing web development at the start, then going with DSA, and then making some projects on AI. But the correct way to address is not like this. The way should be, first you should have your computer science fundamentals very strong, because nobody is going to see your project on an interview round. Nobody will going to say that you open your screen and show me what project you have made. They will get to know whether you are true, like a fit for the job, if you have strong hold of the fundamentals of computer science. They might ask you questions on hash maps, which but not directed to hash maps. So they will like ask you indirect questions of some random real world problem, and then they will see how you address those issues. So at the first, I would like this, if this is coming for like somebody who's in the first year or second year or starting, um, in to be very honest, in today's generation, AI can practically solve anything give it to it. So there's nothing which you can do something on your own in order to stand out. But if you are good at Python programming, if you are good at machine learning concepts, along with that you have practiced considerable amount of DSA just in order to keep your analytical skills intact. So this is something which is required. This is something which companies also is doing nowadays. Like even if you go to many career section of companies, or even during our times, we have seen that there is like a increase of hire of people who are good at Gen AI and who are good at developing their AI skills. And this is something which will not come if you will not go. It is something which will not come if you go to a YouTube channel or a website and just start studying about AI. It's something which will come by projects. So first you see how does AI work in the real world. Something which is good is you can go for Kaggle competitions. Over there, they focus on competitions on AI and machine learning, where people are actually building something from scratch. So my goal and everything was like that I would do something from scratch, not something which is already made. So always remember, if you are in the early stages of your engineering, then it's very easy for you to build something from the scratch, and it will automatically turn out and stand out to be very good at the end. Because like I would say, like tell a small thing about myself. Like during my second year, I was exploring AWS, and even now in the company, AWS is being widely used, and this is something which I get to recall, and I wish I could have done better if I would have actually used the services and not just studied for the certification exams. So one thing students should do is just not study for the exams of certifications. They should go and actually purchase those products and then explore, do some hands-on, because in today's generation, the hands-on is something which the companies will really look into.
Great, Arnav. Vimukta, your take on this?
Sure, sir. So one thing I would like to add, like Arnab told was right, like having an hands-on experience is really very important. But one thing, if you have a project related to health domain or anything related to pharmaceutical, so that might have an add-on part in this thing, because it helps the ZS interviewers align more towards your goals, and they would really be very interested asking questions to that. So that is one thing I would like to add on Arnab's part. And then having proper thorough knowledge about whatever project you have developed is very important. So these would be the majorly two things which I would like to add on what Arnab said.
Thank you, Vimukta. Just add one thing, Disha. I've seen a lot of students start this. It's like New Year resolution. Everybody starts. Probably, if you look at the number of people making resolutions and starting on New Year, how many people were there? 300. Let's play a guesstimate. After 50 days, you'll probably see barely 20 people. And everybody says about hard work, in-depth projects and all, but how many people really do it? The number is a very, very small number. If you do it, you will stand out. Just follow what Arnab and Vimukta said. Just focus on the basics. Build your own content from scratch. Make it personal to you. For example, Vimukta is from Ujjain, if I'm not wrong. Am I wrong?
No, sir. I'm from Ujjain.
Mukta is from Ujjain. So if she had made something related to Ujjain and said, I'm a Ujjain girl, she would have stood out to the interview, because beyond the interview, they interviewed 10 people. Who's the one person who made a project related to domain? They will may not remember her name, like Vimukta. They will remember the Ujjain girl who made a project related to that. So if you make something related to something you're passionate about, Arnab, you were very focused on fundamentals, right? If I remember, you were very maniacal about fundamentals and computer science basics. So if
Yes.
said that, if he showed his passion, somebody likes playing games or football, analytics about football. You say Ronaldo is my, who's the hero nowadays? I know I followed it. I followed Ronaldo or other players 10 years ago. But if you say some current player is your
Mhm.
favorite player, and
Mhm.
you did a project around data analytics of that, you will stand. And that's how
And
you should make it clear. Uh, Krati, I cannot ask this question. It will violate the norms. These two are employees now. Okay, I'll come to Neha Sahu's question. How much time did the interviewer give for the case study solution?
So, if I was to address this question, like the interview gave me quite a good amount of time, like around 15 to 20 minutes. And the thing is, in order to keep his attention evolving into it, you should ask a lot of questions. This is something which I have for my juniors also. During an interview round, whenever what type of coding question is it, whether it's a SQL question, non ZS interview, or any other company, you should ask the interview a lot of questions revolving what he or she is asking to you. It shouldn't be one way communication, it should be always two-way communication. So for me in ZS interview, it was around 15 to 20 minutes around for one single question. And if they find it that you are answering them at a very good pace, then they will ask you the second question. And if you are not able to answer, then usually what I heard from others, their interview gets a bit slow and it usually gets over by then.
Okay. Now let's come to one more question that students have. Yeah. What kind of questions to be expected from projects in the resume? Harshit, we have talked about this in detail. So, Arnab, can you let's assume that I tell you that I have a project, I've developed a project for computerizing the underbelly ordering system. So, what
Okay.
kind of projects will you ask me?
What kind of questions on this project, right? Okay. So, like, if you have made something regarding an ordering system on in Underbelly, first, like the if I am an interviewer, I would say that the interviewer usually ask that what are your potential competitors. They will be asking you questions like if it's a tricky interview, they will ask like what the XYZ solution is much better than your solution. So how you are going to stand out. So you should be having some USP or some unique selling point of your projects. You should be able to say that this is how my project stands out from the others which are with the others which are competing against me for this solution. Then you should focus on the tech stack. So first thing is to grab the attention of the interviewer regarding your project. If you just start with the tech stack, it may or may not be that interviewer is coming from the familiar tech background. The interviewer might have worked on a different language, different tech stack, but he or she wants you how you are addressing with the help of computer science, with the help of the knowledge you have learned. It's not something specific to a tech stack. It should be specific to the goal which you are talking. So, and also questions like how much time did you take, how much effort was calculated on this, how did you utilize all the resources. It's like if you have used for storage, suppose Underbelly, as sir told, it's like you're doing an ordering system. So if your ordering system is real time, what type of database you are using for that, whether it's a cloud database, even if it is a cloud database, why have you used a specific database, not some other database for storing. And for the UI piece, I would suggest some people might ask that what type of front end technologies you have used and whether it is very good or bad. They won't probably see because your project is lying on the resume. It is not lying in the on the screen or something. So you should always be able to tell the good part of your project, which is like how you're solving the problem.
Okay. We'll play the same game with Vimukta. Vimukta, now I am developing a leaf recognition project for VIT Bhopal. I want to, okay, bird, leaf, whatever it is. It's an AML project for in VIT Bhopal. I am very passionate about plants and birds.
So the first thing would be like, what is the novelty of the project? That would be the first question asked. The second thing would be, what could be the business solution? Like, how would this business sustain in the market? That is the another direction of the questions which would be asked. Like, if there are 2 to 3 competitors, or if you are the first in the market selling this project as a product, so what would be the challenges which you would be facing? How would you address those challenges? And how would you make your business a sustainable business? When it comes to a DAA role, it gets more oriented towards the business side of ideas. And apart from that, if like this is a ML based project, so which algorithm you are using for the ML, and you should be able to explain that algorithm properly, and why did you use this tech stack, this specific algorithm, and you should be able to answer why the other algorithms wouldn't have worked better. So having a thorough idea about the technology used is important, and then having the business context. And they might ask you, like, suppose uh, I am a seller of your product, and now I am facing this problem. So how, as a leader, would you solve this problem? So these some of the how would you handle or manage a problem, these you should be very thorough with, and some business concepts in that. So these would be some things which need to be focused on.
Great. Arnab, next question is directed at you. Krati is very upset with me. Sriram sir, you didn't ask my question. Forgive me, Krati. I'll ask her next question. Next question is system design asked in interviews? That is first question. She adds a bonus. Sriram sir, you must ask this question. What level of computer science knowledge, core knowledge is preferred?
Core knowledge is preferred to system design, or like is system design asked to the.
She has two questions because I refused to ask her question. No, she has two questions.
Okay. Okay, so like depends on, like I gave 2 to 3 interviews I remember from my time, and system design is asked in properly for the SD roles. Like it is not usually asked in something like consulting company or so, but it is mostly asked in SD roles where they actually want you to develop a high level architecture of anything. And this is something which is many creators in YouTube also these days are teaching and spreading the news about. But like there are certain books also on how you can make a system more agile, more fast, robust, and all those things on you can pretty much read about it. And system design is not asked a lot, but if you manage to if in some good companies, in the end the rounds they usually ask questions on system design, because it is something which will test your ability, that whether you are coding something, you are solving a problem, whether you have actually solved it by yourself or not. Because in system design they might ask you questions like make an Uber for this amount of this particular area, and how does the Uber algorithm works behind it, how what are the lead generation stuff we will do, how you going to do the sales, how we are going to segregate the storage and route optimization and everything else. So for that, system design is really good. It is an add-on. If you put it in your resume, people will be having a specific knowledge about you, that this person is good at making high level architecture. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Next question is to Vimukta. Uh, Vimukta, I remember you participating in hackathons from your second year onwards. So tell us about your hackathon journey and how did it help in this particular company?
Sure, sir. So I started with hackathons. Like initially, I used to participate in ideation challenges. We participated, like I had a team of 2 to 3 members. Initially, we participated. We didn't get any certificate. Like we didn't win. We used to feel disheartened at starting, but we never gave up. We continued participating. We participated in ideation challenge at triple IT Bhagalpur. We got second runner up over there. Then we participated in an ideation challenge by Larsen and Toubro. There we presented a sustainability based solution for charging EVs using solar panels. Then through that we got an opportunity to do internship over there. And after that, I once participated in one conference, which was a pharmaceutical based conference, where I presented solution related to how machine learning would help in cancer prediction, and what machine learning can help in pharmaceutical field as of now. So this specifically this conference part helped me a lot during my interview process, since ZS is a bit like more has more clients in the pharmaceutical field. So the interviewer in the behavioral round asked me related questions related to this conference specifically. So he asked me, like, what was the exact idea which you presented in the conference. So I told him about like what how machine learning and how the tech stack can help pharmaceutical background. Then from that he generated some questions related to business aspects, like suppose you are having a pharmaceutical firm, how would you fund your business, how would you like promote your business, and how would you lead this business. So these hackathons really helped me a lot during the interview process to portray my thoughts properly and how the ideas are to be articulated in a proper way. So these hackathons gave me a platform to be part of these. So for me, hackathons were a bliss, I would say.
Thank you, Vimukta. I'll go to Arnab now. Arnab, competitive programming, BSA programming, verbal aptitude reasoning. Now, people are sharpening their pencils. They are rubbing their hands in glee. Finally, we have a company which doesn't rely on coding,
Yeah.
focuses mainly on verbal aptitude reasoning. And
Mm.
their thought process is, how do I crack verbal aptitude reasoning? How do I clear the first round? What is the way they should prepare?
So, there is something I would like to tell about myself. Last year, around this time, we had a company. It's very famous. Accenture was there. So, for that company, it was like my first company where I actually got shortlisted. So I was like, I have to prepare for this. And this is a company which took its round in Chennai campus, and we have to travel back to Chennai, and then we have to give the interview rounds and all. It went good for me till the end, and for that I was preparing from a very famous YouTube channel, Gonna Study For You something. And this YouTube channel basically focuses on solving problems in real time. The teacher was teaching and they were solving questions one after the another. Then this is something which is aptitude, and something which, another thing which helped me a lot was the CDC test. So I remember back in the days, sir used to conduct Go Blue exams as well, 2 times a day, 3 times a day, and I used to sign up for both of them, morning and the evening as well. And this is something where your mind should be very focused on like solving them by your own. Keep yourself in an exam simulated environment, not in your room, not anywhere else. Just go and give the exam in front of a simulated environment where you have to give your best. So this is something which helped me a lot. I practiced the CDC tests which are there in the CDC portal for the aptitude for during the Accenture exam as well. So it really helps. The something which like I would suggest is that you should always have a timer with you as well. Like when you're solving, you should be at least having 10-20 minutes extra, because these days the companies don't care if you manage to solve all the problems. It is how fast you go to the next section. That is something which matters. Like it's how fast you go to the coding round or the next round. So before that, you should be very good at reading and all those things. So it will eventually stand out.
Okay. So, I think we have two more questions.
Yes.
Uh, Nick, this question is to Vimukta. How to the question is about participating in hackathons. I usually get disqualified in the presentation submission round. How do I qualify from the presentation idea submission round?
For the presentation idea submission round, the thing should be you should be very clear with the idea you are portraying. It should be, when it comes to a presentation round, you should keep it very crisp and clear what your idea is. It should be portrayed in 1 or 2 lines. Then all the solution or whatever steps you are following, follow it in a bullet point manner. Apart from that, one thing is, make a proper flow chart, process flow chart, that actually is a eye catching thing for the presentation part of the idea. And I would suggest to keep it very clear and crisp. That is the main thing which comes when it is like related to presentation round. You should be very very clear with what tech stack you are using, what is your idea, how you are proceeding with the solution, and in the end, what is the novelty of your solution. So portraying this in a very crisp and clear manner is important.
Okay. Arnab, we are still running the Go Blue exams
Okay,
here.
good. Great to hear that.
And we are not, in fact, what happens is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, everybody is fresh, right? All the faculty are fresh.
Yes.
Saturday, Sunday is very, very hectic for me because now we're running it every 4 hours. So 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, anytime. So we are just expanding that. And it's all due to guys like you that it's all, to be honest, whatever we are doing now, is comes
Mm,
from guys like you. Have you guys
mm,
are the seed, and you are the greatest motivator for us. Your smiles make it worth it. So
yeah.
let's go to Bhaiya, Om Raj is asking, Bhaiya, Bhaiya, listen to me. Uh, CS fundamentals is a broad term. Can you
Mm.
please tell me what I should focus on in CS fundamentals?
So I think in CS fundamentals, your concepts should revolve around the OOPS. Your concepts should revolve around operating systems and DBMS. The three major things which usually asked in the interviews. And in operating systems, people usually ask about the different, like how you are going to uh, solve some. They might even ask give numerical problems in a very easy manner. They will ask you some questions on RAM and the sizes and all those things, but depends on what type of company you go. If you go to a company like Nvidia, or where GS fundamentals like computer networking and all those things are very very important. So something I would suggest to do for CS fundamentals is whatever you have learned in your you through the 4 years, you should just go through your notes. You should go through whatever you have learned. It's not something new they will ask. It is something which is there in the industry since last 10-15 years. It has not changed. Questions will come from the same type of questions. So like apart from that, there should you should also make pointers for while studying all these fundamentals. So like how you can for example, if I remember from my time, like in computer networking, it was really helpful to watch videos of Striver. Also, he has also started posting videos on computer networking, SDLC, all those things. So these are the things which one should go for CS fundamentals. Apart from that, the class notes will be good enough for just brushing through your overview of the topic, because nobody is going to deep dive into those concepts. But when you solve a particular problem, say for example, they will see, like whenever in some good companies I have interviewed recently also, like they will just not ask you to present your screen and code, but they will see whether you are designing your code in a proper manner, whether your code is like industry specific. There is some standard which you should follow. For example, whenever you're writing a internal function in Python, you should begin with a single underscore, because it denotes that it's a private function. So this is something which is not written in the books. This is something which is specific to OOPS, specific to the object oriented programming which you have learned previously. So this is how you generalize the structure of your code. You make a lot of functions, each function solving a particular problem. So this is how you can use the concepts of OOPS into your code and make it a very industry specific code.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next and the last question is Romit De. Uh, this is to Vimukta. SQL. What is the level? Should it be lead code style? Should or just knowledge is enough?
For SQL, you should be clear with the theory part firstly. The joins, like they will specifically ask joins related questions. Then, if you have proper resume related to SQL things, they might ask you to write some queries. But like the basic queries which are present on lead code would be enough to solve the problems. Like it won't be very hard SQL queries which they
Yeah.
would ask.
Yeah. And also, when you are writing a query, one person should be very good at optimizing queries. So in SQL, one thing I have learned during my internship at this company also, like your queries should not be like a 50-line query. Your query should be like you should use some row number, some good functioning logic, so that the query gets over in 2 or 3 lines. And the interviewer will be very impressed that you are very thorough and familiarized with subqueries. So something which in SQL you should learn is how to write proper subqueries. I think there is a lead code 75-day something challenge is there, where they focus from zero to like the good problems in lead code. That is really helpful. And along with that, in Hacker Rank, I practiced lead SQL. It has multiple topics are there. So yeah, that is good enough for solving SQL.
Uh, Thank you, Vimukta. Thank you, Orna. Your
Yes.
final words, each of you, for the lions and lionesses of AT Bhopal.
So I think that it's a placement is not very difficult. If you take it in that way that it's a difficult thing, it will be difficult. But if you are like always, if you always think, if you have a goal in mind that this is what you have done so long, so this is what you have come from, and all the hardship and struggle will be just a couple of days away from your success. So then it's not very difficult. Like if you just know that what you are going to do, even in this is something which you love from as a child, whether you loved computer science, that's what the reason you have come to this college, right? It's not just somebody told you to study and you have come. So you know that the interview also not be very difficult for you. You will be very expressive with the interviewer. You will be very uh, speaking very, you should be very raw. You shouldn't be very under a lot of stress, and you should just take it day at a time. Yeah.
And Vimukta,
Sure. The first thing I would like to add as one suggestion, like for the Go Blue test, which Arnav mentioned. So these tests were really helpful. But one practice which I followed was like after giving the aptitude test on like the which are present on CDC, I would revisit those tests. I would see which questions I did wrong, and I would check my solutions, what is the approach to do that. So next time, whenever you are addressing that kind of question, you won't be facing you won't make it wrong. So this was one practice which helped me as well. And apart from that, for the like interview and for the placement journey, I would say be very interactive in the interview and be raw, because if you have worked hard and you have worked for something which you are aiming, you will succeed one day, as Sriram sir always says. So yeah, this is what I would like to say.
one final question. It's a bonus question to both of you. Just wanted to bring that up in case somebody's watching. We have a lot of students watching. How did you handle the mental side of placements? Because as you said, it was in October, and so
Yes.
it would have been very frustrating. How did you stay calm? How did you stay positive? What made you through? Because I want the juniors to the second and third years. It's going to be a long journey. It's going to be a long journey. Uh,
Mhm.
and for the current final years, your words will make them not give up. So, how did you address this? What frustrations did you go through? How did you overcome those frustrations?
So there is lot of difficulties, lot of frustrations we usually feel. I still remember when the GoBlue thing was introduced. First, I was initially frustrated. Oh, I have to walk two, three times a day and just give an exam, whether which I will not perform good. Maybe I'll get blocked. Maybe I'll not do well. All those things come into the mind. But when you give one exam, when you see your progress, you give the second one, you give the third one. Should be there should be some reason which is pushing you with from the back that you have to get placed, because there is no other option. Then like you have, why the hell you have come in college for 4 long years, you have studied so much, and still you will not be able to get a job. This is something which always reminded me like to push harder. And also something is, if you don't work now, you will be like falling back for months and years. It's like the campus placement is the best thing which you can get at this moment, because the referrals, the market is very volatile, and it's not so easy to get a placement outside of campus just by cold emailing and just by going through the LinkedIn. So it's like you should be very focused to the companies which are coming to the campus, companies which are targeting the students over here. So one should be always ready to grab one opportunity. I still remember like something which Sriram sir used to tell us. Like I was not belonging from a very top batch of the placements, so I was like in the medium or some batches. So he used to say that for the S or the A batches, there will be like 500 companies apply, 500 companies or 500 chances they will get. For the other batches, there will be like less chances, and but that chance should be your only chance, and you should get hold of it. So that is something which I still remember. Like whenever one single company used to come, you should fill the form at the correct time. Your preparation should not be like when is the company coming. Your preparation should start with what the company is going to ask, whether I am going to get shortlisted. I'm not going to wait for the time whether I'm going to get shortlisted or not. My preparation should start from the day one you see the posting of that company. So this is something which I used for overcoming the challenges of placements.
How did you handle the mental side, Arnav?
Mentors, like I used to be sometimes best part about this is talk to your friends, talk to your teachers as well. I think they really help you calm down your mind. Whatever you are going through, you should have somebody to say to. it shouldn't be like you are keeping it to yourself. Even when you have problems, you should go and address to the people at the placement. I think they will always help you out, and they will help you out in a much encouraging manner than what your parents or someone else would provide, because you should always ask to people who have passed that barrier, who have passed those times, and then you will also feel like, oh, this is doable, this is not something which is not doable. It's just a matter of time, and most of us already got good placements, already got a lot of good opportunities. So just don't lose hope at the very start of the season. For our time, our batch has went through hell, and they have gone through a lot of things, but still they have stood out and done a lot of good stuff.
Vimukta.
Sure, sir. So one thing would be being consistent. Like no matter what, you should have that aim. Like I want a placement anyhow. I won't lose any hope. We have times like when we feel like no, I'm not capable enough to do that. But during that time, I used to talk to my parents, and they sometimes encouraged me. And once I was like, I was very underconfident about my DSS skills, so I came to one of your Go Blue meeting. I discussed it with you, and you guided me like what approach should be followed. You should start with very initial questions, then move forward. So for me, Go Blue meetings also helped me. And some of the faculties at our campus, they helped me. And like before interviews, I used to get very nervous sometimes, so I used to practice some of the introduction and things in front of the mirror, so that helped me as well to be calm and composed during the interviews. And you should be very clear with your aim in the mind, and should be focused to what you want to achieve, because the fear of failure was very greater for me. So that helped me succeed, I should say.
Uh, Thank you, Vimukta. It was a pleasure talking to you both, and look forward to meeting you during your graduation day soon here. Thank you, Daylines, for your patient listening. Today was one webinar where I could see a lot of people joining in. They never want to leave, but I have to leave. It's a bit late for me, and I have a long day tomorrow as well. So thank you, Arnab. Thank you, Vimukta. It's a pleasure seeing you, and it's been time has flown by. 52 minutes has flown by, and it's a pleasure talking to you.
Yes,
So,
likewise.
thank you, dear Lions. See you again tomorrow. One more webinar, one more session, one more God bless you meeting, one more test series, and we'll keep rocking on and on. Wish you all the best for your life and career, Arnab. And
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
dear Lions, see you again tomorrow. Let's rock. Thank you, ma. God bless you. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.